is Tarot Card Expert. If you haven't downloaded your free deck, go to tarotcardexpert.com and download these guys and cut them up and then make your own deck. Okay, this time, though, we're going to look at, well, what about reading for romance? As we're all, or a relationship, any kind of relationship, because romance is when we're thinking, oh, I met somebody online and, is that one going to work out okay? Or a relationship could easily be, how come my kids aren't talking to me? Or, what's going on, right, with the other person? And it's very important to understand how other people are doing, because we are used to seeing things from our own point of view, but real personal growth comes from understanding where other people are coming from as well. So we've got to get both worlds together. Then that way I can go, oh, wow, I didn't know that that's what was going on inside them. That creates that empathetic kind of resonance with the other person. And when we do that with somebody else, that allows them to feel like we're in it together, right? And that's what relationships of any sort is really all about. We want to feel together. And togetherness also means that, yes, we can think of things that we are familiar with, that we agree with. Those would be all the swords, right? Like ideas, or the masculine cards, the swords and the wands. They're very action oriented and very communication and all this. And we can, communicate and do things together, and it feels like we're together. But actually, really deep intimacy or a real sense of union with somebody comes from more of the feminine kind of cards, which represents the body. That would be pentacles. And the cups would represent the feelings, right? The heart. And when we're in that kind of a space with somebody, we actually don't need to say much for us to be together. It just feels good. And so that is why we need both worlds. We need the masculine world of the swords and the wands, which is swords is the mind and wands is action, which are all the fire signs, and swords all the air signs. And then you have your cups and your pentacles. And those are people that, are very empathetic, and they feel you, and they are just present with you. Just their look will penetrate you. That's being in the body sense. That's like drawing your awareness down into your body and having a sense of, I have a body, and it perceives the world in a totally different way than going up in our heads and being very active and all that, because that's a much more directed kind of like outward going kind of energy. Whereas all the cups and the pentacles are about inward energy. So as you're learning the minor arcana, you will then learn about, and also the astrology, the fire signs and the air signs, they're all the masculine signs. And then you have your cups, which is your water signs, and then you have your earth signs, which is the pentacles. So the two are totally related. That's why it's good when you take all the classes that, you'll link between the two. This time we're going to explore the 21 card spread. So get on the website and get into Tarot Card Expert, download this so you can play along, right? That you can go along with us. So I'm going to fake out a reading, and I'm going to do the 21 card spread. But I'm only going to pick out certain positions, because it's just good to know how to do this, to do the whole thing. But you can get away with only 4 cards, but I'm just going to show you how this can be laid out very quickly. All right, so I'm thinking about a relationship. All right, I got it. Okay, so, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Okay, I had shuffled these guys earlier. It's always good to just keep shuffling them. But you notice that the way that I pulled out the cards was very random, and I pulled them 2 at a time. And I didn't need to do this. Let me see which one is the one that pulls my energy. That takes too long. I like to just keep things moving. That's my fire sign part. Okay. My air sign too. That's my rising. All right, so I'm just going to lay out the cards, and when you take the 21 card spread class, you'll learn how to do this over and over and over. So these are all the positions here, and if you, as you're following along, because you had downloaded this a while ago maybe, that you could just, okay, you know, where is she putting what? Now, I am laying these out because mentally, my brain already knows how to, you know, what am I doing? I'm putting this here as the intuition coming in, the foundation, subconscious, conscious. I already know this because that's all in this chart. So to lay it out like this is, as you noticed, it was very fast. So it looks like a lot of information and a lot of cards, but actually, you notice how fast I did that. You know, all the way from pulling it out to laying it down. And that's how fast you want to go. Just keep on, you know, just put it down and put it away, and then pull them out again and put them away, and just follow the numbers on the chart. The bottom here is about time, you know, like, oh, what's going to happen, you know, like in different months, right? But right now we're just going to concentrate on this part. So I'm thinking, well, okay, we come into the reading with, where is this person coming from in terms of a relationship? And this card here is the Hierophant. Hierophant, Major Arcana, has a lot to do with wanting to do what's best for this person or being. Okay, actually, it's about a dog. I'm thinking of the master in relationship to the dog. All right, and so here we have the wish for this person to only do that which is right for the dog, right? But if this were a person, that would be what the person would be doing, always thinking about what's best for this person. Okay, so because the Hierophant represents being in service and coming from a very spiritual kind of a almost like a self-sacrificing kind of a place. It's not like a martyr, you know. This is like, hey, you know, I want to do this. This is what feels right to me. A lot of mothering type people will pull this kind of energy out, right? This kind of card. Major Arcana doesn't tell you how that person feels about it, but it tells you where that person is in relationship to a principle that the person is living by. And that's what the Major Arcana is about, the principles of life, right? Or the different aspects of life about, let's say, judgment would be the principle of releasing our personal limitations. Okay, all of that is covered in the Major Arcana. All right, so what I'm now going at is, well, then when we're in a relationship, usually we like to know, how is a person feeling about what's going on with the other person, or what does the person think? That's only 4 cards, right? So here we have the thinking section right here. And then we have the feeling section, which is right here. All right. Now, because we're not turning over all the other cards, we only have a partial information, but it'll already tell you a lot about what's going on. So thinking, okay, so how is the person who's now the Hierophant thinking about the situation with this particular pet? And the Queen of Cups is a very creative person. You know, where does our creativity come from? You know, it comes from our feelings, right? If I feel sad, then I'll write sad poetry or music, or, you know, but if I'm happy, you know, I'm going to be coming up with happy images and things. So that's why she's the artist. She takes her feelings and she focuses into something. You could just look at her picture, very focused. You'll learn all about that in the court cards, right? How all of the court cards, the king, queen, knight, page, you know, how they function. So here we have a situation where, you know, this guy is thinking about the dog and going, I really want to be creative. You know, I got to find more creative ways of being helpful to my pet. Okay, then there's also then the outer thoughts, which is like more like the inner thoughts are more like something that goes from way inside and go, yeah, this is what's going on. Outer is more an expressive part, and that's the outer thoughts. And it's passionate, saying, yeah, you know, you're so important to me. You are everything to my life. I feel so real with you, because the strength card has a lot to do with this passionate relationship to whatever. If this was a a person that this person is in relationship with. Lucky. But anyway, because here is the Hierophant. I want to do what's right for you. Queen of Cups. I want to be as creative as I can with you. And the Strength card. You mean everything to me. You know, that you just bring out my real purpose of life kind of stuff. Feelings. Okay, so now these are the thoughts. And now we have come into the body sense of the feelings. And the feelings are, so something is going on. Okay, I don't know what it is because I haven't flipped over all the other cards, right? But the feeling inside is the Hermit. Inside feeling is saying, right now, you know, as I'm doing the reading, you know, I need to kind of do a lot of internal sense of what is the right thing and what is my truth about doing the right thing in a creative and passionate way. My truth I need to know from inside myself, because the Hermit is about major arcana, a state of consciousness that where we seek truth from within, because many times we seek truth from without. Now the Strength card is also major arcana, but that is like, you know, that kind of passion that comes over you and you're going, wow, this is so important to me. But this one is like, okay, how important is it? How real is this? What is my truth about everything? And this is a very quiet card, right? So it's because it's so internal. Then you have the outer feelings. There's something that is going on here that has something to do with, I wish things could have been better, or that things can be, you know, because this is a card of disappointment. Now we're talking major arcana, a minor arcana. Minor arcana is where our personal work is. The major arcana, as you could see, just out of basically 5 cards, we have 3 major arcana. That means that there's something big that is going on in terms of going beyond the ego, but yet we still have feelings, we have our own thoughts, and that's where the minor arcana is. And the minor arcana is where our work is. We have to master our way of thinking, swords, our actions, wands. We have to master how we feel, being in touch with them, cups, and also to master being in the physical world, taking care of business, right? So that's what the cards are all about. It's about being a balanced person by knowing that I'm not just going to be mostly up in like a airhead or, you know, like out there, or even a person who's just going for adventures but not listening to my feelings or being practical. We got to be whole, right? And that's what the whole thing with even all of the signs are all about. That's what astrology is about. It's all of the different signs which are all in you. Anyway, 5 of Cups, disappointment. Now, when you start studying the minor arcana, and the way that it's taught is lay them all out. Okay, don't pick one card at a time and try to learn it that way. It's going to be very difficult for you to understand the big picture. We want to get the big picture, and that's how it's taught. And 5s, you'll see all the 5s. As you take a look at all of the 5s, you'll see they're all disturbed. Why? Well, in numerology, it's about disruption and freedom, right? It's about breaking loose. So we break loose, but in so doing, we have to take a look at what didn't work. We're breaking away from what didn't work, which would be like the stability or even stagnation of the force. But anyway, 5, some kind of disappointment, wishing that things could be better. Yeah, I was hoping that it would be better, but, you know, I'm kind of disappointed. But this is my passion, right? So now we're looking at, I need to do the right thing. I'm trying to seek my inner wisdom about this. And I know that this being, my friend, right, is somebody that's really important to me. And I just wish that things could be a little different. So this is just 5 cards out of a 21 card spread. So you can imagine how much more information we can get when we start to explore all the other cards. See you later.